So, hi Mayank, congratulations on getting multiple admits. How are you doing? How are you feeling?
Thank you, sir. Very well. I'm doing very well, and I hope you're doing the same. And I feel really happy, and blessed that I got in touch with you, and we started this journey.
Sure. While exploring different consultancies, okay, what made you feel I study abroad was the right one for you?
So while I was looking for a consultancy who could help me through this path, there were multiple reasons that made me choose IE. Uh, First thing, the way you have helped me, explaining the whole stages of the whole process, like a personalized guidance was one of the things that really made me choose you. Then another was the transparent process that I was aware of every process, and I was aware of every a timeline, costs, and the steps that were involved, like including all the documentation that was required. And then another the last thing that made me choose you was the reviews and the support that I've received. I mean, the reviews. And then this was a recommendation from one of my friend or colleague, you can say. And then and after interacting with you, I chose IE.
As part of your contract, you were given a one admit guarantee. How did that help your decision?
Look, this pointer of yours, which another other consultancies were not giving me, right? And then this boosted my confidence. And then this also in return gave me the value for investment, that if I'm investing a big amount, and then you're guaranteeing an admit, that's a big thing, which indeed reduced my stress. And at least there's something that, yeah, I have a back end. My back end is pretty much strong because I will get an admit from from the top school.
So you have received 4 out of 5 universities admit that you applied for, including most ranked in the top 20 universities in the world.
Yes.
Okay, how did I study abroad help you achieve this success?
So as I mentioned before, the personalized guidance, they help me, tailor and alter all these SOPs, LORs, and resumes according to each of university's expectations. And another thing was that you have really been the expert in your shortlisting the universities. Same likewise, you helped me also, using your expertise in shortlisting, which matches my profile, balancing all the ambitions and safety and goals. And apart from that, the mock interviews, they were indeed a big help for me. You've asked me a number of questions, and taken mock interviews, which helped me crack all the genuine student interviews. That was a really big help. And then I think because of these things, I got into these top universities which I was expecting.
But how does it feel getting an admit from a world ranked 18th university, University of Sydney?
That's it. Incredibly a rewarding thing. I believe I've finally paid off. I've been feel I've been finally paid off for the things that I've hard worked for years, and planning indeed has helped me. And then this also gives me a huge confidence. Getting accepted in a top 20 university, which is validated globally on a global level. And I feel this is an exciting opportunity, and I'm really thrilled to be a part of of this university in future, where I'll have world class resources and world class professors to study from and learn from.
Now, if I remember, you joined our service somewhere around in February 2025 and
Yes, yes.
July 2025 for the July 2025 intake. And the applications were processed within a month itself. Can you share
Yeah.
some
Yeah.
experience about the application timeline and the efficiency?
So as I've mentioned before, also, right, you were clearly that in the beginning of the first session, I got to know the individual steps, and then you have already informed me that we need so and so documents, which is all lined up. So there's a quick turnaround, right? So the entire process from document preparation to application was completed in just few weeks, because your department, that the lady who's dealing with me, Sonal ma'am, I would like to name her. She was very quick, and then there was a very organized workflow, clear timelines and prompts that were given to me, and I was able to revert back to you within the timeline that was asked. Then it was a stress-free process, because I knew I have my as my backup, and then in 1 month I was able to see everything going up in quickly. So uh, I mean, this was a really happy moment because I was expecting it to take much more time, but with you, it took very less time.
You mentioned being confused between countries and courses that you wanted to apply to. How did the team assist you in finalizing towards your preferred destination?
Okay, so in the beginning, I was really confused. I was planning to go to France, but once I got in touch with you and the counseling that you helped me with, like a detailed counseling sessions that we've held in the beginning, we understood all the pros and cons of each country that I was planning. And but I thought we should also consider Australia. At that moment, the profile matching approach really helped me, and aligned all my academics and career plans. So I thought Australia will be a good choice. And when you discuss it with someone who's really expert in these things, I got the clarity while comparing the countries and the universities. The insights that you gave me were really helpful in making the decision.
If you remember, we connected almost daily or multiple times in the week while we were shortlisting the university and when we were working on your SOPs, right? How did that support help you in terms of the application quality and your confidence?
So they were consistent guidance that was coming from your side, and then like daily check-ins, like they helped me stay on same page and motivated and always moving forward. And then I was also getting the quick feedback if there was some errors or mistakes that I was doing in my LORs. That the constant feedback that I was getting was really helpful, which also built my confidence that I am sure going to get the offer letter from the universities.
Which aspect of the personalized service, in terms of the one on one sessions or the tailored advice, stood out most for you?
See, the first thing I really liked of IE was one of the one-on-one attention that I got. Like I was, as I was added in a WhatsApp group where all you, Sonal ma'am, and everyone was there in the group. And whenever I had a question or a query, I just had to type it in the group, and I had to reach out to. I didn't have to wait for someone. I had like a response very quickly, and then you helped me shortlisting the universities in a very detailed manner, right? I was having all the insights and pros and cons in front of me, the Excel sheet that you made for me, which had everything mentioned. I didn't have to make other you can say another another task that I would say, or like a work that extra work was not required from my end. It was all with you. It was very quick and easier, and I had everything in detail. And then the honest feedback, that is really I appreciate the constructive feedback that I was given whenever I used to have share a document with you, or there was some SOPs of the questions that were university asked. The honest feedback really helped me, and I feel these things bring out IE from the other consultancies very well.
Did you feel that the team was approachable whenever you needed help and available whenever you wanted to talk to someone?
Yes, indeed, definitely. They were always accessible. And whenever I had a question, I would just reach out to them, and then in no matter of time, I would have the answer to the query. And then the friendly support that I have, it really made me comfortable. And asking questions, I did not feel like I was not shy in asking. I was very comfortably asking the questions, and I was also getting the answers. The consistent availability was one of these things I would like to mention, that were very nice of I and from your support.
Can you tell us a bit about, can you share your experience in terms of the SOPs and the LORs that were constructed for you? Were they able to flesh out your story in a manner that you wanted to achieve?
Yeah, so they were like, you help me giving those parameters, like the bullet points, and then which I, like I have given a thought about it. Yeah, I have done this also, I've done that also. And then I was able to list them down easily, and then make pointers out of it, which really helped me answer the LORs and SOPs. Sorry, not the LORs, but the SOPs. LORs, the professors. And then if there were some edits that were required in the LORs, I would the feedback that you've given me, I would reach out to my professors and my former manager, who really helped me with that also. Another thing was the efficiency in the process, I feel, was amazing, and it was fast paced. There's no lagging, and then like hassle free completely. And I would really highly recommend IE Study Abroad for anyone who's looking for expert guidance and smooth application experience. Uh, that's all. I mean, I feel IE Study Abroad was a good choice that I made, and I would recommend it to everyone.
Final question, looking back, what would you say was the most valuable part of your experience with IE study abroad? And would you recommend the service to others too?
I would definitely recommend it to other. And the whole process, I would say, was the most valuable thing. I mean, I cannot pinpoint one of the things. Everything was made easier for me, right? Starting of stage one to accepting the offer, gathering all the documents, like they were all in process, and I was not feeling that there's something lagging. So like with other consultants, I feel that things might lag up, but with you, I don't feel there's some lagging behind. It was very smooth and quick, which I really appreciate. Like student, if who has less time, and if they're with you, they don't have to worry about it.
Currently, I believe that you're working on with the visa team at the moment. How is that process coming along, and is it as efficient as you're looking for?
Definitely. I mean, I feel that the file is way beyond ready before the filing the visa, and we are waiting just for the day we receive the COE, and then the same day or maybe the next day morning we apply for the visa. All the documents are ready beforehand, I believe, and which is a really good thing, which I really appreciate of IE. And I would like to name her Harveen ma'am. Is taking care of my visa file. She has been phenomenal, honestly. I mean, she has sent me all the checklist and everything that accordingly, which I've sent all the documents. I feel it was very quick and swift.
I hope you enjoyed this working with us as much as we enjoyed working with you, and it was a very smooth
Likewise.
process for you. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you so much for taking this session.